What's up guys, Tyler from EDC Central, and today we're talking about G10 daggers.
You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gonna cut you down. Sooner or later, gonna cut you down. Tell that front on fire. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler and the gambler and the backslider. Tell us the gun.
Now you're just showing off.
I gotta grab a
Single handed.
With me today, I've got the VZ Grips G10 dagger. This is their version of a non-detectable option. We won't talk about where you would maybe carry these, but I think you guys can come up with that on your own. So we're gonna try some stabbing tests. We're also just gonna talk about the ergonomics and the drawing. It does come with a holster. You've got a few different options on how you can use that holster on the belt. And hopefully this you can add to your arsenal. I personally love this option, especially for those discreet places. Talking to the guys at Blade Show Texas 2025 about this item in particular, they talked about how this is a machined piece of G10, and if it does get dull or damaged slightly, you can take sandpaper like a 220 grit, sand that down again, get it sharp, and then you can take some pew pew oil and wipe it down and it'll become black again, nice and pretty the way you guys like it. So today our overall goal is just to give you a quick review of this item. I've gotten to use it a little bit, carry it. We've been out here on the range today doing some stuff, and we even brought this along to do some testing. So we're gonna use some fruits, because what better way to test some sharp things than with fruits, and just see what does it really take to penetrate these three options. Knowing that a human torso is actually pretty soft as long as you're not dealing with bone, and the skins on these are actually relatively strong. So let's get into it. All right, let's test this sucker out and see what kind of penetration it has. So we're gonna start with a watermelon. As you can see, they have a nice slot for your thumb, so you can really get some good pressure on there and control for this dagger. Let's see, you know, obviously we don't have some sort of measurer here for foot-pounds or anything, but I can give you a reference to how hard I'm pushing on this. So we'll start off. I would say that overall you're gonna be, in self-defense scenario, you're gonna stab a lot harder than that. That didn't take a lot of pressure at all. Let's try a downward. That was very light pressure in my opinion. Let's try a little bit harder pressure. That was maybe 20% of what you know, I think if you had an assailant on you, you'd probably stab quite a bit harder than that. Let's flip this over and just do a one-handed top. I'm not getting a lot of control on it. I'm just doing a top push. It's pretty straightforward. All right, let's move over to this guy right here. This is probably going to be even easier if I had to guess. Same top-down push. Yeah, even easier. Pretty straightforward, right? Do a little bit of prying. Tear apart that fruit. You do the same thing with the watermelon. Watermelon's a little harder, as we suspected, but it definitely, you could definitely tear that apart if you want to. Anybody want some watermelon? Camera guy. All right, apples. Apples are actually generally known as being pretty dense. I mean, you know the old school trick where you bite an apple to get out that loose tooth. Let's see what we're kind of working with. I'm not gonna hold this with my other hand because I don't feel like getting stabbed. Yeah, that was pretty straightforward.
And right in half.
There you go, guys. I'd say penetration test pretty solid. All right, so we just wrapped up that really quick test with the watermelons and the apple. One thing to note is that we are on a wood table, and when I went through that apple, I did push down. It wasn't crazy hard, but I did meet the wood contact and I did break that tip. But what I want to test is, even with that broken tip, how good is the penetration still? Because that's a true test, because steel knives still break their tips when they make hard contact with bone, steel, concrete, even wood in some cases. So this is a true test. I don't think it made much of a difference. Pretty straightforward, guys. I think that is a great self-defense option. Comes with a leather sheath. You can also flip this horizontal instead of vertical. And then you've got carry options. You know, you can always kind of hide this on the other side of your belt in the front appendix if you need to get, you know, through conspicuous places. Draw is pretty simple, straightforward. You got multiple options. That is a solid tool from VZ Grips. They have been around for a super long time. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go sharpen this and make it sharp again. And we're gonna be good to go. All right, guys, if you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram. It's EDCCentral_. We'll have all sorts of content coming, but check these guys out. I think everybody should have this in their arsenal. It's a quick, under $100 option. Other than that, check us out, guys. Thank you.